So what about this horse story? Where does it come from? The Iliad ends with the death of Achilles, and the Trojan horse is long after that. Well, there are other sources on the Trojan War. This one was written in Hellenistic times, and it takes place basically after Achilles has died, after the Iliad is wound up. The Iliad covers only a very small segment of the Trojan War. The Trojan War is supposed to have gone on for 10 years, and yet the Iliad only covers the last year. And indeed, for all practical purposes, it really only covers about 1 week of that year. Basically, what happens is Hector kills Patroclus, Achilles' cousin. That brings Achilles back into the fight. Achilles comes up and kills Hector, the hero of Troy, and Hector's brother Paris shoots Achilles with an arrow in the Achilles tendon, and that kills Achilles, and that leaves Paris, who's also killed. So the Achaeans end the battle for the city of Troy, the same place where they started it at the beginning of the Iliad, outside the walls, and they're no further along. It's the cunning Odysseus who makes up the plan to build a great wooden horse that's hollow on the inside, and that they fill that with Achaean heroes, and that the Trojans would bring it inside the city, and that the heroes would pop out and open the gates for the Achaean army, which had reappeared on the coast. Now, the truth is that even in ancient times, nobody believed that one. The ancients immediately began speculating about what the real cause for the fall of Troy was, and they came up with several alternate, satisfactory explanations for the horse.
Could one of the greatest military deceptions ever have been a historical fact?
All historical Greeks knew about the story of the Trojan horse. The minute they began to experiment with the representation of figures of the human form.
A besieging army would sometimes construct a siege engine, literally a rolling battering ram with soldiers inside. This Assyrian depiction from the 7th century BC, around Homer's time, shows a horse-like siege engine breaking the walls of a fortified city. Perhaps the Trojan horse was just such a device.
Pausanias said, "Anyone who doesn't think the Trojans were utterly stupid will have realized that the horse was really an engineer's device for breaking down the walls." Now, the fact is, the story does stress that the wall was broken down when the horse entered the city. It's possible that this is a garbled recollection of some kind of siege machine. Now, they certainly existed in the Near East. The basic problem with this hypothesis, though, is that in 13th century Aegean, there is absolutely no evidence of siege machines or the technology to create them, or any experience with siege machines. There is one other possible explanation. Earthquakes are quite common in this part of the world, and an earthquake in this area might possibly have damaged the walls. A break in the walls caused by an earthquake may be just the thing that the Greeks needed. The Achaeans may very well have associated with that earthquake with Poseidon, and Poseidon is associated with the horse.
And the animal associated with Poseidon is the horse. So if you say earthquake equals Poseidon, Poseidon equals horse, ergo earthquake equals Trojan horse. You've got it. The Trojan horse could simply be a metaphor for the earthquake.
But in Homer, the horse is real, and the trick works.
At about midnight, once the Trojans have had, shall we say, a bit too much to drink, and they've all gone to sleep, the Mycenaeans inside the horse open up the trap door, climb on down, kill the guards at the gate,